What's up, guys? This is Quinn XCII, and I'm back with Rob, hanging out at Front Row Live.
It's been 2 years since like the last time we. Yeah, seriously. It's funny because maybe like a couple months ago, I ran into AOK out on Melrose, and I was like, "Dude, how have you guys been? Like, I haven't seen your cousin in a while." And then he was like, "My cousin, yeah."
You
like,
thought we were related?
Well, no. Like, because you guys are always together and you guys kind of grew up together. Like, that was what was my mindset. And then we walked away from that conversation. I was like, did I just say Quinn was his cousin?
Like, it would make for a more compelling story for sure if we were related, but no, they're not related.
Right. How have you been, man? These last 2 years, I feel like people are starting to pay attention to your music a lot more.
Yeah.
You've been busy, from festivals to tours. Like, what has that been like for you?
It's been great. I mean, just a lot of traveling, a lot of like you said, a lot more people kind of like focusing on my music and stuff, and just being able to kind of be the artist that I've always wanted to be and just kind of grow this fan base more, and it's been amazing. Yeah, so the last 2 years have like flown by, like we were talking about earlier, but so much has still happened in those 2 years, and I'm still trying to grow the music, obviously, but it's been such a good ride so far. So yeah.
Now, 2017 was a big year for you because your debut album dropped, and although like that was your debut, I know it was stuff that you had been working on for a couple years already. But that album in specific, like I feel like that was just basically you in relationships, like the story of us. And then now you jump into Michigan with Love, and I feel like it's a little you talk a little bit about more things from anxiety to like tough. Like, what would you consider tough?
Yeah, tough's like we wrote tough kind of in the idea that we wanted to make like a anti-bullying song, but not in a way that like we're bashing bullies, but just kind of showing how like tough guys can soften up, and like it's okay to like let your feelings kind of go and talk about what you want to like really talk about inside. So yeah, and it's gotten a really good response so far. But yeah, I guess the album itself has like a narrative of just like more personal things with my life, like you said, like anxiety and just like things that I've gone through as a person and things that really happened to me all back in Michigan. So hence the title of the album. And just kind of talking about more serious subjects that I really have always wanted to speak on. But I let that first album kind of be like a biographical like piece of like, okay, this is me. Blah blah blah, and then for the second one, I kind of want to dive a little deeper into like the more mental, like the mentality that I have, and just like my thoughts and my like opinions on certain things that are going on in like the world these days. So it's a lot more of that. It's more topical in that sense, but yeah, just trying to like, I'm always trying to think of new things to talk about and grab people's attention with new concepts, because I feel like it's easy to like talk about the same things every time, and that was the trick for me on this album, was to just make stuff that no one had ever really heard before, and doing it in the most like creative way. So,
and speaking of stuff that people haven't heard before, you kind of got vulnerable on this record as well. One of my favorite tracks from what I heard so far is "Good Thing Go."
Oh,
like
amazing!
That was such a great track, and I feel like that's such a hard track to like lay out because, like I said, you got really vulnerable on that track. Tell me, how different was it creating this track?
It was, I mean, truthfully, and my fiance is gonna love this, I have gotten engaged since I last saw you.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you. But I took that from like a piece of motivation, and everyone has asked me like, since you're getting married now, how is it gonna influence the music? And I think I'm looking at things way more maturely, and I think with that song particularly, I just kind of wrote it from like a place of happiness, and like I really like where I'm at with my life right now, and specifically with my like relationship. And so it was really easy for me to talk about, because like I commonly talk about girls in a sense that it's a little like negative, it's playful, but it's like they're either like crazy or whatever, and because that's the experience that I had. But now that I've finally have found someone that I'm like totally cool with, that was just the easiest song for me to write, because it's just kind of flushed out everything that I just feel on a daily basis. So yeah, I don't know. Like, my mindset for that was never to write like a love song, like a kind of like a sappy love song, but it kind of turned out that way. But I think it's still spun in an interesting way, and it's delivered in like how I would say it. So yeah, that was the idea.
The other thing that I enjoyed is that not only are you vulnerable with your lyrics and your singing, but it's like there isn't really that much instrumentation going on sonically. No, it's such a basically like just a simple song, but it speaks so loudly, and I like it when artists do that. I feel like it's hard to make something so simple open up more doors.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing, that the best songs I think that I write and that I like to listen to are the simplest produced songs. Like you said, there's not much going on. It's just like a solid written song, and that's it. And I think there's no gimmicks to it, or there's no extra produced electronic, just like there's no like shininess. I say
Right.
it just is what it is, and it's vulnerable and it's true and so I tried doing that with that one particularly, but yeah, those songs are always the best to kind of grab onto, I think.
Right. And your vocals, your singing got so much better from
Thank
you know over the years. Like obviously you're singing a lot more. You're trying a lot of new things. In Tough, you had a nice little high pitch that you hit on there, the falsetto. There you go. And I was like,
falsettos on
what? Who is this guy? This is not Quinn anymore.
Yeah, if you like the falsettos, expect more on the album. No.
So how are you perfecting your singing?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, just by doing so many shows, that's how I'm getting better at it. And just practicing. At the end of the day, it's a muscle, and the more you exercise it, the better, stronger it gets. Right. And singing in the shower like I always have, and just I don't know, it's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm happy I'm fully singing now. And yeah, it just kind of practicing at it, and the shows help for sure. The touring, the constant touring, it really helps for a lot. So yeah.
I'm sure in doing so, it kind of changes the way that you're writing music as well, because you have that in the back of your mind, like how am I going to sing this piece, like how am I going to hit that note. Yeah. So when you are actually writing now, like how did that kind of transition go from old Quinn to the new Quinn with the new material?
I didn't really think about it too much, honestly. I wasn't sitting down and thinking like, okay, how am I going to transition from like the old rap stuff to like kind of like pop music, right. And singing. I just kind of did it in my own way, and I always say like I'm never like, I don't think I'm like a technical like singer. I just kind of have an interesting tone in my opinion, and it works. So yeah, I just kind of go for things, and if it works out, if I think it sounds good, I keep it, and if not, I'll throw it away. But right. Yeah, I wasn't like thinking about like scratching my head like how am I gonna convert this to like how am I gonna go from where I was to where I want to go, and no, I just kind of went for it, and I think that's how it worked because I didn't overthink it, and right. It came out naturally, and yeah, I guess that's it.
Producers wise, co-writers and stuff like that. Yeah. Did you work with new people for this album, and like if so, who were they?
Yeah, so more so on like on a producer standpoint, I worked with some different people. Worked with Andrew Wells, who produced a track that is going to come out. I think on our deluxe album, which is I probably shouldn't have even said that right now, but yeah, it's gonna come out later after this debut album or the second album. But songwriters like Sean Douglas, who's really talented. A good friend of mine, Scott Harris, who does a lot of Shawn Mendes' music and Chainsmokers. And yeah, I mean, I branched out for sure, but and I know I'm missing some right now, but right. I try to keep a close-knit circle of people I work with because at this point I like working with people that know my ear and know what I like to listen to and kind of know what I'm going for. And it speeds up the studio process really quick and it makes things easier. And yeah, but collaborators, I'll say, like getting singers on my songs. I think that's where I really took a leap with this project was I really expanded the features. There's I think there's 5 features on the album.
Nice, okay.
Versus last album where there was 1, Chelsea Cutler. So I definitely wanted to like reach out to more people now that I kind of had a little bit of a platform to like, send my like message and be like, hey, you want to get on the album? So I was able to get Noah Khan, who's on Tough.
Right.
Yoshi Flower, yep, amazing singer, songwriter for Werewolf. Elohim is going to be on the project. Yeah, there's some really cool artists. And yeah, there's just really people I look up to and aspire to try to be like. And so that's what's so cool about it is like they're also like friends of mine, but they're people I really admire in the industry, right. And I think are just super talented. So
right. And taking us back to Story of Us, on the deluxe version of that, you actually also collaborated with Kailee Morgue, an artist that I was just with her a couple months ago, and like I'm so excited about her because I feel like the world hasn't really paid attention to her entirely yet, but she has this like unique kind of sound.
Totally.
How did you come across her in the first place, and what was it about her that made you want to collaborate with her?
Yeah, we found her. We were just kind of honestly we had that song "What the Hell Happened to Us," and we wanted to get a feature on it, and we were looking for a female vocalist, and we just were kind of like roaming the like internet and Spotify for people we just thought were really interesting, but hadn't really like peaked yet. And I think Kailee came across us and with her voice and like her style, and she had a song at the time. You probably know the song title. Before that, it came out. It was like a single that kind of broke out.
I'm like blanking out on her names, but yeah.
Yeah. But I heard that and I was just blown away, and I was like, this is just such a unique sound, and let's see if we can get her on this record. And
Right.
it worked out. I've actually never met Kailee before, which is funny.
Really?
So
Okay.
yeah, so what's up, Kailee? Hi. But I know we follow each other on social media. But yeah, no, she has an amazing voice, and I think brought so much to the record, and just kind of like tied it together really nicely. So
Right.
mhm.
So Michigan with Love drops the 15th of February.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
you are heading on tour, what, 4 days later?
Yeah.
World tour, man. Like, congratulations with that, too. Like,
you, man.
2 years ago seems like it was so far away, but
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
it's crazy that this stuff is kind of happening
It
for you
is.
now.
Totally is. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about this tour. What can fans expect and what's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, fans can expect the same kind of like high energy that I bring to shows, and the show will be a little more produced out. You know, the stage is going to be a little cooler this time. I should say a lot cooler. I'm really excited about the elements that we're adding. You know, more lighting, just a bigger production in general. You know,
Right.
and yeah, we're just kind of taking things step at a time. We're not trying to really like change the show too much because we really like what we have right now and it's proven to work. So yeah, we're just kind of taking things one tour at a time, and you know, just trying to sell as many tickets as we can and expand those rooms and get to more markets and stuff. So
Right.
and yeah, like overseas we'll be going to different cities that I haven't been to before. So like Paris will be playing, and
Nice.
and yeah, there's so many in Europe that I haven't been to yet. But yeah, it's cool to, you know, be able to travel like that and see the world just because of music. But yeah, man, no, the show is, I'm really excited. It's what it has always been, but it's just a little more like on steroids,
Right.
if that makes
Even
sense.
better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks again for reuniting with me. We got to do this again, but not 2 years. We got to do it maybe in like 6 months or something.
Yeah, we won't take as long next time, but yeah.